Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Stafford Springs, Connecticut, at the home of the SK Stafford Motor Speedway, as we bring you tonight's action of the Red Light Racing Series Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Series as they make their round here to the Stafford Motor Speedway. My name is the boss man, Al Smith. I'm filling in for our good pal, Roger Muth, who is at home resting and recouping. We thank you all for your well wishes to Roger as he'll get back here soon and he'll kick me out of the booth and come back to do that. But until then, we are filling in, going to try to do our best here at Stafford Motor Speedway, where the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Series comes into town as they get ready to go with this week's feature event or race event. This will be race 6, the halfway point. Last week after at Nashville, it was the Rev eSports 100 where Brian Hacker went to victory lane over AJ Hamill and Rex Hoyle rounding out your top three here tonight. Track temperature very hot and slick out there tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 119 degrees in temperature on this half mile in Connecticut. 90 degrees is the current temperature with 50% humidity. Talking to some of the drivers post our pre-race here tonight, as they all said that it was going to be a little bit slickery here tonight as we look into tonight's main event, just moments away. And while we have the time, tonight's race is being brought to you by Rev eSports team. I want to thank them for stepping up and sponsoring here tonight, as it is the Rev eSports 100 for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Series here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We want to thank you all for tuning on in as we take a look, or we cannot take a look, but I can tell you right now that up on top of the standings by a slim margin, AJ Hamill, the driver. Well, Mr. Confusion here on Thursday nights, AJ Hamill in the 18 New York/Vermont sits upon the top of the standings so far this season, with Max Stereo in the number 2 spot. Sean Single back 11 points from your race to your points leader. He sits third with Brian Hacker and Justin McDuff running out the top 5 in points. And right now, practice getting ready to wrap up. And as they do that, we're going to step away. We'll bring you right back here tonight, and we'll be right back on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original eSport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back. You see Barney the Flagman waving that checkered flag. That means it is go time here tonight for the Rev eSports 100. And this is your starting lineup for tonight's main event. And on the pole in the Rev eSports car number 1, that is Dalton Williamson. Williamson on the front row of this one. He will start on the pole. Outside of him, the Strano Brothers Racing, the number 43, the green for Supply, number 43, that is Joe Strano. Starting on the inside of row number 2, that'll be car number 40, that is Rob Higgins. Rob Higgins will roll off third. Outside of him, the driver out of Wilton, New York, that is the 46 of Justin Smith. Starting on the inside of row number 3, that'll be the car number 33. This is Mike Tashiro. And the driver outside of him, the number 20, is Justin McDuff. Starting in the 7th spot will be the number 11 of Sean Single. Out to his outside, the 54 of Rex Hoyle. Your current points leader is going to roll off on the inside of row number 5. That is AJ Hamill. And car number 18 outside of him, the number 11 of Brian Hacker. Starting on the inside of row number 6, in car number 42, that is Max Theriot. Max Theriot's going to start in the 11th spot. 12th starting spot will be Dan Butler. Dan Tobin, Josh Buckley make up row number 7. Row number 8 is going to go to Brian Robinson and Kenneth Younts in car number 85. Brian Bianchi will start in the 17th position in car number 41. Or 14, and outside of him in car number 41, that is Bob Higgins. Starting 19th in the 271, that is Alden Olivencion. In car number 271, outside of him will be the 45 of Tim Williams. Johnny Bell and Tony Strano will make up the next row here, and shotgun on the field will be Eric Stout and Rob Haynes. So the pace car getting ready to go down as we get ready to go with tonight's feature event off of turn number 4. It'll be the number 1 of Dalton Williamson, Joe Strano, leading the field 24 strong to the green flag as the green flag is up and we are underway with the Rev eSports 100. Everybody able to make it through turns 1 and 2 so far as we go up above the racetrack. See them 2 by 2 down the backstretch. Good. Williamson jumping out to your race lead. He's got Higgins now down to the inside in that car number 40. Higgins working the inside as Justin McDuff works underneath the 46 of Justin Smith. Is now Tastro going to slide in there almost up into the outside of the 46 of Smith. They're able to keep it pointed in the right direction. Everybody jostling for position so far here as they come off the corner. They'll put lot number 2 in the books. One car out of shape, that's Tashiro. He's going to be on the inside, losing multiple positions. Was the number 33 of Tashiro. He'll slide it into the inside of the Carbon Junction. Number 11 of Brian Hackers. They work down the backstretch. Right behind them, the all-black automobile. That is the 42 of Max Theriot. Theriot trying to come up through the field. He came into tonight's racing action 7 points behind Mr. Confusion, A.J. Hamill. Down the backstretch they go, side by side. Tastro still stuck on the inside. Brian Hacker trying to claw back on the outside. Very tough feat to do here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. It's everybody else trying to get single file out here as they work in the turn number 1. A little bit deeper in the field, it is the number 94 of Tobin Jr. He runs in that 13th spot. He's got the number 37 of Brian Robinson right there in behind him. That is going to be the battle for the 13th. Is now Tashiro has gotten by the number 11 Illinois of Brian Hacker. Now Hacker will fall back into that 10th position. Everybody getting single filed out around the racetrack as they work down the backstretch. Up at the front of this one, it is the BK Paints number 1, the Rev eSports team driver number 1, Dalton Williamson showing the way. We look out the back with the Culpeppers Bakery and Cafe onboard camera looking back. That is the number 40 of Rob Higgins that rides in your number 2 position. Williamson really laying down some quick laps. Last time by was a 19:05. Really laying it down here tonight. Higgins, though, starting to close in 1 second behind, and Justin McDuff up 3 spots in that cerebral palsy Empire Racing entry, number 20. Up 3 spots into that 3rd spot. Joe Strano runs in 4th. Rounding out the top 5 is the 46, New York of Justin Smith. He's got Sean Single in car number 11 all over the back bumper as we go on board with the mechanic advisor onboard Camry with the number 46 of Sean Single. So everybody doing a good job there as they work down the backstretch. Things starting to tighten up a little bit deeper in the field. Brian Hacker trying to find a way back around the racing school number 33 of Mike Tashiro. And he's got the very wily old veteran, the 42 of Max Theriot in his back pocket. Theriot trying to crack the top 10 as he works up through the field. AJ Hamill now underneath Sean Single. Single had a slip up off of turn number 2. That opened the doors for the 18. Oh, Single in the outside wall. Sean Single, trouble down the front stretch. Tobin nowhere to go. Sean Single sits on the grass on the front stretch. So far, no yellow flag. As Single will able to get it pointed back in the right direction. Tough break for the driver, the number 11. All the way back into the 24th position now as he gets pointed back in the right direction. Dan Tobin going to come down pit road with the number 94 as well. Those two drivers involved in this accident. Off of turn number 4, though, Dalton Williamson is going to click off another lap. He's led it since the green flag has dropped. Rob Higgins up one spot, started in the 3rd spot. He currently resides in the number 2 position. Justin McDuff runs in the 3rd. Your top 3 cars really starting to stretch their legs. Over the 4th place running Joe Strano. Joe Strano really working that 4th spot. Justin Smith in the 46. He's got the Arts Barbershop entry of AJ Hamill. Runs there in the 6th spot. So far, all green flag laps so far in the Rev eSports 100 for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Series by the Red Light Racing Series here at Stafford Motor Speedway. A little bit deeper in the field, Tim Williams in the number 45. He gets around the number 8 of Dan Butler, and that opens the inside line for Younts. Kenneth Younts up to that 14th position, pass in Butler as they work their way up through the field. Everybody running a good, clean race so far. One mishap was for the 11 of Sean Single. They are on pit road, so a tough break for the number 11 of Single. As now Max Stereo has gotten underneath the 33 of Tashiro. Move Therio into 9th as he tries to chase down the number 11 Illinois of Brian Hacker. They start to draw a beat as we go on board with Brian Hacker. As you see the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th in front of him. Joe Strano leading this train in the turn number 3. Everybody minding their P's and Q's so far as we are almost 1/4 of the way in to tonight's Rev eSports 100. Dalton Williamson still leads the way up here in turns off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. He's got a 2-second lead over Rob Higgins. And the battle for second is starting to shape up now as the 20 of Justin McDuff has starting to reel into the backside of Higgins. So the battle for second really starting to shape up here as they work under around the 94 of Tobin, who's coming off of pit road. So the battle for first right here, 2 seconds off is back, is Rob Higgins. AJ Hamill starting to apply the pressure to the number 46, the rookie this season of Justin Smith. AJ Hamill leads the points as now our first yellow flag of the evening going to fly as Max Stereo has gotten into trouble. He sits backwards in turn 1 and 2. So our first yellow flag of the evening going to fly for the driver out of Canada. Let's see what happened to Therio. See him working down here on the front stretch, trying to get a run on the number 11 Illinois. Oh, Tastro gets in the corner, maybe a little bit of Nerf bar action. Tastro's going to go through mowing the grass. Let's take another look at this here as they work around the slower vehicle of Tobin off of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Oh, a little bit of a left rear hip check by Tashiro, and that'll send the 42 of Max Stereo around here in turn number 2, and that'll be our first slow down of the evening and erase the 2-second lead that Williamson has had. Is a 94. If Tobin will get the free pass, he gets worked around the Speedway. He is down 7 laps to your race leader. So Dalton Williamson is your race leader. Running second is the number 40 of Rob Higgins in the Checkered Flag Auto Supply sponsored number 40. Third spot is Justin McDuff in car number 28. Fourth is Joe Strano. Fifth spot, Justin Smith. A.J. Hamill is going to have to restart on the outside here in that 6th position. Rex Hoyle having a quiet night so far in the American Tire Distributor, number 54. He rides in that number 7 spot. Right behind him is the 11 of Brian Hacker, who runs 8th. 9th spot is the 33 of Mike Tashiro, and Brian Robinson in car number 37 rounds out the top 10. As it looks like the 33 of Tashiro getting sent to the tail of the field for his involvement in the altercation down in turn number 1. So that's going to shuffle it up. That'll move the number 14 of Brian Bianchi in the Culpeppers entry into the number 10 spot. 11th spot will be the 85 of Kenneth Youch. Dan Butler runs 12th. Josh Buckley in the number 2 will restart in the 13th spot. Eric Stout, your hard charger of the race so far, and that beautifully prepared number 6. He is in the 14th spot. Tim Williams runs in 15th. Bob Higgins, Tony Strano. Johnny Bell runs 18th. Alden Elaviccioni will run 19th. Rob Haynes, Mike Tashiro, Max Taylor, and Dan Tobin are your 23 cars out on the racetrack. Sean Single still sits on pit road getting repairs done to the Rev eSports number 11. Pace car down and away. We're going to go back green flag this time off a turn number 4. It'll be Williamson and Higgins on the front row. Green flag is up. We're back underway. Down into the corner, everybody gets all spread out as we go high above. Look at them spreading it out off of turn number 2. 2x2 drag races down in the turn number 3. Williamson still shows the way. Joe Strano up on the outside as we had some contact back here. Stout is involved with the number 6 car. He works to the inside. Everybody keeps it pointed in the right direction, though, as we stay green. Is Josh Buckley now inside the top 10? He is not done yet, looking for more. So we watch the battle back here. The 45 of Williams now will discard the 14 of Bianchi, who has fallen in the clutches of the number 6 of Stout. Meanwhile, up here, stuck on the outside is Joe Strano trying to find a way down low. He'll let the 18 of A.J. Hamill by. Is the 37 of Robinson's going to dive it down low. So Strano still stuck on the outside line. Brian Hacker able to get down in front of the 2 of Buckley. Is a drag race Strano in the turn number 1. No man's land up on the outside here in the early goings. You can make it work for a lap or two. And you want to get down low till the temperatures come back up in these wide Hoosier Racing tires as they work down the front stretch. One car up the racetrack. That looks like to be the 45 of Williams as he's going to dive it in hard on the outside. Going to make a liar out of me. He'll get loose now in front of the field. He'll collect the 14 of Bianchi. Trouble off a turn number 2. Max Stereo hard into the 45 of Tim Williams. Big parking lot off of turn number 2 and yellow flag number 2 coming out. Heavy damage to that numbered BK Paints number 45 of Williams. He is crab walking it. It'll be an extensive period on pit road for the driver of the number 45 of Tim Williams. Let's take a look and see what happened. See him racing into the corner. He goes to the outside around Williams. Maybe, got up in the marbles and broke loose. Bianchi gets it, and he'll send the 45, and then Max Taylor just nowhere to go. Also involved, that looks like it was the number, I believe, that is the number 271 of Al Vesceroni. Vaccaroni in that number 271 also involved. Let's go on board with Max Stereo. He comes off turn number 2. You see the smoke. He goes to the outside, and well, Williams was right there. So a tough break for the driver out of Canada. It's heavy front end damage on that number 42, who came into tonight's standing. So big points implications here tonight, as the 42 down on pit road is going to have to get that damage fixed. As we see the 45 of Williams now coming down pit road, and Max Stereo already into the attention of his crew. So very big point implications here tonight. Max Stereo comes in second in point, 7 markers behind the 18 of A.J. Hamill. The Checker Flag Auto Supply SK Series, they do have a few drop races in their schedule, so drivers will be able to, I believe, drop their worst finish, but hard to use one up early on in the season. Not what Max Stereo was looking for here tonight at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Roger Booth checking in here. Glad to have you in the chat with us. We miss you up here in the booth. We know that you'll get back out here sooner than later, so you just sit home and relax, my friend. We got it covered, and I know all these racers want to send out their best wishes and a speedy recovery to Muth in the booth. I'm just the imposter up here tonight. Got the lucky call to say, hey, you were in Stafford last night. Can you stay there and do the SK Series? And I said, well, sure, why not? We're already up here. And got in here and today and got everything set up for these SK Modifieds, which are putting on a great show. Williamson on the front row, Higgins in a row on the outside. Then it's McDuff and Smith, all just in row number 2. Rexwell, A.J. Hamill will make up row number 3. Green flag is up, and we're back underway. Drag race down to the turn number 1. Higgins going to work the outside of the racetrack. He'll give way. Here comes Justin Smith down, or Justin McDuff in that number 20. He's going to work to the inside. He'll take away that number 2 position in the turn number 3. Higgins able to slide down in front of Rex Hoyle as they work down here side by side battle. Back here for the 6th and 7th spot is Robinson. Works underneath the 18 of A.J. Hamill. Joe Strano underneath the 11 of Brian Hacker. Is now Strano's going to get the bumper down low as they work in the turn number 3. Brian Hacker works to his outside. Kenneth Younston, that number 85, trying to make his way more forward towards the front as he sits in the 10th position. Great battle here for the 9th and 8th and 9th position. Brian Hacker will work it as the Joe Strano mobile gets a little bit loose off turn number 2. That allows Kenneth Younston to his outside. So Strano's going to lose 2 positions. Now he'll challenge back off of turn number 4. Off the corner, oh, a little bit of contact. Kenneth Yount's going to go down to there. Dan Butler through the grass. Yount is sideways, facing backwards on the backstretch. Yellow coming out here. Kenneth Yount's able to get that number 85 pointed back in the right direction. The direct auto wholesales entry of Kenneth Yount. Let's take a look and see what happened here on lap 43 to bring out our 3rd yellow flag of the evening. See him working the outside of the racetrack, and Joe Strano gets a good run down to the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Dan Butler, an innocent bystander. Everybody doing a great job to miss the spinning 85 of Yount's. Let's go on board with the number 8 of Dan Butler. You see the contact there, and around they come in, and Yount's just comes down and just clips the front end here and able to get back up to the 25, doing a great job of missing the number 8 coming back out onto the racetrack. So the outs down here on the back stretch. Up on the front of this one, it is the number 1, the Chevrolet of Williamson. He's going to have a new dancing partner in the form of the 20 of Justin McDuff. McDuff up to that number 2 spot. Rob Higgins back to 3rd. On that restart and that checkered flag auto supply, number 40. Rex Hoyle able to jump into the 4th spot. Justin Smith 5th. As they work down here on the front stretch. 6th spot belongs to the 37 of Robinson. He is up 9 spots since the green flag has come out here tonight in the Rev eSports 100. AJ Hamill runs in 7th. He lost a few spots on that last restart. Brian Hacker is 8th. Josh Buckley runs in the 9th spot. Eric Stout runs 10th. iRacing officials getting everybody lined back up. Dan Butler will restart in the 11th spot with Bob Higgins in that number 41. He'll restart 12th. Tony Strano runs 13th. Rob Haynes in car number 25 in the 14th spot. Johnny Bell, Joe Strano, Mike Tastro, and Kenneth Younts remain on the lead lap as the field doubles up behind the pace car. We're going to go back green flag racing off of turn number 4. Williamson and McDuff on the front row. They jump on the gas pedal. We're racing down here in the turn number 1. McDuff with the nose out in front until they get to the corner. Williamson going to take that race lead. Here comes Higgins. So he'll try to get to the inside of that number 20 of McDuff. Couldn't quite do it down the back stretch. McDuff able to hold on to the number 2 spot. Now Rob Higgins works underneath the 54 of Rex Hoyle. That'll take the 3rd spot away. Justin Smith holds on the 5th. A good battle back here as Brian Hacker works the outside of the Arts Barbershop, number 18 of Mr. Confusion. AJ Hamill, he'll work the bottom of the racetrack off of turn number 4. Good side-by-side battle is right here for the 7th and 8th position. All eyes are on this one as they work down in the corner. AJ Hamill able to now take that spot away from Brian Hacker. Hacker will slot into that 8th position as Josh Buckley closes in on them. He's got the number 6 of Eric Stout in there. That rounds out your top 10. Tony Strano up to the your 11th spot. He just got underneath the 80 or the 8 of Dan Butler. Bob Higgins runs there. He's got the number 27 of Johnny Bell starting to close in on him. Bell trying to make his way up through the field in that red and black number 27. Mike Tastro back on the lead lap. He's trying to make a rebound towards the front of this one. Remember, he was involved in a race incident and lap in the 2nd yellow flag. Sean Single works to the outside. He's back out on the racetrack. Multiple laps down for your Sean Single fans. Up here, though, things starting to tighten up is now AJ Hamill has caught the backside of the number 37 of Robinson. As we go on board with the number 37. A little bit of squirrely now. A bid for your number 8 spot is the number 11 of Hacker. Took a shot down low. Got the door slam shut on him. So we are past the halfway point in the Rev eSports 100. Up on the front of this one is the Rev eSport driver himself, the BK Paints number 1 of Dalton Williamson. He has led it since the green flag has dropped. He's opened up a 3/4 second lead over second place running the number 20 of Justin McDuff. Number 3 spot is the number 40 of Higgins. Higgins starting to feel the pressure from the wily old veteran, the 54 of Rex Hoyle. Hoyle up to the 4th spot. Justin Smith doing a good job, and that number 46 runs in your 5th position. As Robinson trying to close in to crack the top 5 for the first time here tonight. He takes a bit down to looks to the inside. Justin Smith gonna shut the door down in the turn number 1. They work down the backstretch. Now it's a 4-car battle for spot number 5. The Fanatec entry, the number 37 of Robinson, trying to figure out a way to get around the 46 of Justin Smith as AJ Hamill takes a peek to the inside. Brian Hacker up the racetrack. That opens the inside line for the 6, a Stout, but Hacker too strong with the momentum off of turn number 2. Down into turn numbers 3 and 4, they will roll. Kenneth Younts will bow out of the way of this 5-car battle. Great battle as they work down the back stretch here. Josh Buckley starting to close in on this one as well. Now Stout going to peek to the outside. Couldn't quite make anything happen. Now AJ Hamill with a good run. He takes a peek down low but has to back out of it early into turn number 1. AJ Hamill trying to move forward. He uses the apron to help turn that car. Off of turn number 2 with a good run down the backstretch. To the back out of it, rolls it there, trying to get a run on the 37 of Robinson. Robinson up the racetrack, almost kisses the outside concrete off of turn number 2. Dalton Williamson still showing away his lead, 0.6 of a second over the 20 of Justin McDuff. McDuff, one of those drivers that usually is a long run driver here with just 36 laps to go in the Rev eSports 100. Rob Higgins runs in your number 3 spot still as we go back to this battle for 5th. AJ Hamill trying to figure out a way to get that number 18, the clip underneath the 37 of Robinson. As they all work off the corner down the backstretch. Hamill with a peek down low. He's got the nose down low. Robinson's going to give him the inside line. Can AJ Hamill make it stick? Off a turn number 2. Side by side, wheel to wheel. You got to watch out for the contact down here in the turn number 3 as the open wheels can jump out and grab you. These drivers doing a great job as AJ Hamill now will move back to the 6th position, and he's looking to bring the 11 Illinois of Brian Hacker in that Carbon Junction number 11 underneath the 37 of Robinson. He will do so as they enter turn number 3. Robinson stuck on the outside, Stout pouncing as well, as Robinson's going to go from 6th all the way back to the 9th position. Oh, one car out of shape. Oh, they couldn't get off. AJ Hamill goes around off of turn number 2. We stay green so far. Tough break for your points leader, AJ Hamill, falling all the way back to that 13th. Make it 16th position now. Now they come at here, the number 20 of Justin McDuff trying to close in on your race leader, Brian Hacker. And Robinson able to make some ground up, 6th and 7th spot after AJ Hamill's trouble just 1 lap ago. Tony Strano up to your 8th position. Eric Stout runs in 9th, and Josh Buckley rounding out your top 10. Johnny Bell in trouble off of turn number 2 is the 27. That will bring out the yellow flag. here tonight for the 4th time. Let's see what happened to bring out the yellow flag for Johnny Bell. Down here in the turn, we're see him working the outside of the racetrack. Oh, so just slight contact with the front bumper of the 33 Attastro, and that sent the 27 Bell through the grass. And as he tries to get back up onto the racetrack, the yellow flag will fly. Let's go back and see what happened to AJ Hamill here. As he was working a little bit sideways, it looks like the 11 of Hacker and 6 of Stout couldn't quite check up. And that brought out, and that spun your points leader. So your top 2 in points having a rough go of it here tonight. Max Stereo is out of this one. He has pulled the 42 behind the pit wall, and now AJ Hamill will roll off of the pit road right now. So a tough break for that as Kenneth Younce will get the Checkered Flag Auto Supply free pass. Well, we got a moment here at the races. We want to take a moment and thank the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, the proud title sponsor of the Red Light SK Series. It's the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Series. And it is brought to you by Culpepper's Bakery and Cafe, Higgins Hills Farm Cage-Free Eggs, Mechanic Advisor, The Racing School. You want to get behind the wheel of one of these race cars, look it up at theracingschool.net. Rev eSports, tonight's title sponsor of the Rev eSports 100. We want to thank everybody at the Rev eSports for sponsoring here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway. Those are the sponsors, along with Coach's Corner, who sponsored at Oxford this year. We want to thank everybody for chipping in and making this what it is. As we go on board your race leader, he has led every lap so far here tonight. Justin McDuff going to start on the outside once we go back green flag racing. They will double up at the line as lights go out on the racing pace car. Up on the front row, it is going to be the number 1 of Williamson and the 20 of McDuff. Outside of him, in row number 2 will be Higgins and Hoyle. Row number 3 is going to be Smith and Hacker. Row 4 is going to be Strano, Robinson, Stout, and Buckley, your top 10. As the field comes off a turn number 4, the green flag will be in the hand of Barney the flagman. As we go back green flag racing here with 24 laps to go. Williamson with a good jump as McDuff has a slight push on that number 20. He'll hold on to that number 2 spot. Higgins will slide out in third. Then it is Justin Smith. He's trying to make a move to the inside of Rex Hoyle as him and Brian Hacker will do the dance off turn number 4. At the line, Hacker will move into that 5th spot with Justin Smith with a preferred line to the inside. Can Brian Hacker get the momentum? He will do so. So give Brian Hacker the 5th spot. And here comes Tony Strano. Strano working the outside, and that number 3 works the outside of the racetrack. Can he get by the 46 of Justin Smith? Tony Strano up 15 spots as he tries to make it 16 as he goes for the 6th position. Strano able to get in line as they work off the corner. Things starting to tighten up for your race lead, though, is Justin McDuff on the back bumper of Williamson. This is the closest we've seen anybody all night long to that number 1 with 20 laps to go here in the Rev eSports 100 for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Series. Rex Hoyle trying to find, he's starting to feel the pressure. The 11 of Brian Hacker is there. Tony Strano falling back a little bit now, catching his breath. After he's able to pick off a few cars on the outside, you see him really get a good run through the middle of turns 3 and 4, but unable to do anything with it down the front stretch this time by with 18 to go. Up at the front of this one, still about a 2-car length advantage for Williamson, but Justin McDuff rolls through turns 3 and 4. He will cut it down to a car length and a half down the front stretch. Did Justin McDuff use something? Did Williamson use up his equipment here in the early stages of this race? Two wily short track veterans doing battle here as they work through turns 1 and 2. McDuff is there. We go on board with the 20 of Justin McDuff. McDuff right there in the tailwind of the number 1. As you see Williamson drive a little bit wide that time off turn number 4. He is digging with 15 laps to go. Williamson wants to win on the night that his team sponsors here at Stafford. Can he make it happen here with 15 coming to 14 to go? This is a great battle for your race lead as the battle for third starting to shape up. Trouble for the 6th of Stout. Stout is facing in the wrong direction. Eric Stout going to take it pit side. So trouble for the number 6, who is running inside the top 10. How about this, ladies and gentlemen? The 33 of Mike Taschereau. He has rebounded to the 8th spot as he takes it away from Tony Strano. Strano going to dive it back to the outside. He's trying to bring the number 2 of Buckley with him. Josh Buckley underneath the 3 of Strano. That'll be the pass for 9th. But Mike Taschereau went to the back of the field, methodically using his knowledge here tonight at the Stafford Motor Speedway. He has found himself back inside the top 10 with 12 laps to go. Justin McDuff starting to lose touch with your race leader now. About a 4-car length advantage for Williamson with coming to 11 laps to go. Does Justin McDuff have enough in the tank to get back to the number 1 of Williamson? Back here, Justin Smith runs in that fence by Brian Hacker all over the backside of the American Tire Distributor, number 54 of Rex Hoyle. Hoyle trying to figure out a way around the number 40 of Rob Higgins. Higgins having a great night here at Stafford, runs into 3rd position. Higgins came into the night's action in the 9th position, right now having a season best run if he can hold on to it. Under 10 laps to go now as they work down the backstretch. Dalton Williamson going to see 8 to go at the line. Can Justin McDuff do anything? He's starting to close back in. Lap traffic dead ahead in the form of the number 271 of Aiden Elvictoroni. He's up in the outside wall. He'll make way for your race leaders. Clean track now for Dalton Williamson as he'll come through turns 3 and 4. Justin McDuff inching a little bit closer here with 7 to go. Five to go this time, or 6 to go. Next time by, they'll get the high 5 here with Barney the Flagman. Is Dalton Williamson trying to shake the 20 of Justin McDuff? Can he hold on? He's let it since the green flag has dropped. Trying to go to victory lane. 5 more circuits to go. 2.5 miles here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. The battle back here is now the 40 of Higgins down low. Here comes Rex Hoyle. He's going to do a power move to the outside. Higgins down low. He's going to lose the 3rd spot. Now Rex Hoyle up to the 3rd spot. Here comes Brian Hacker to 4th. So Higgins will go from 3rd to 5th. in a matter of one lap. He'll fight back now underneath the carbon junction, number 11 of Brian Hacker. Higgins slides back to 5th. It's now 4 to go for your race leader. 3 to go this time at the line as they cross it. It'll be Williamson with 3 laps to go. A half a second gap back to the 20 of Justin McDuff, who runs in the number 2 spot. Now Rex Hoyle has stretched his leg. He opens up about a 4/10 of a second gap over the number 11 of Brian Hacker. Hacker trying to close in as he went to victory lane 1 week ago at the Nashville Speedway. 2 to go as Williamson works down the backstretch. Justin McDuff trying to make it as they work down here in the turn number 3. Off a turn number 4, it'll be the Culpepper. 1 lap to go. Here is Dalton Williamson trying to lead it wire to wire. Down the backstretch, Williamson in the turn 3 for the final time. Off a turn number 4. Led it from the drop of the green flag. He is going to win the Rev eSports 100. Dalton Williamson picks up the win. Justin McDuff will come home second. The battle for third is going to go to Rex Hoyle. Brian Hacker fourth, rounding out your top 5 unofficially. Will go to the number 40 of Rob Higgins. Higgins will round out your top 5 as you see where your favorite driver unofficially has finished is Dalton Williamson. Going to come down in the grass and he is going to do the burnout as he celebrates tonight's victory here on the front stretch at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Great job by the number 1 of Dalton Williamson. He's going to come to park here on the front stretch here as we get ready to go with tonight's post-race show brought to you by the Rev eSports Group. We want to thank them for sponsoring tonight's feature event, and their car goes to victory lane here tonight. And as we get everybody set up for the post-race show, we'll be right back. You have been watching the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Series by the Red Light Racing Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the Stafford Motor Speedway, where we have caught up with tonight's Rev eSports 100 victory lane winner, or the Victor leading all the laps here tonight, and that is the number 1 of Dalton Williamson. And Dalton, you did a great job here leading this thing wire to wire, but it sure didn't look easy out there.
No, man, the right rear, for some odd reason, I'm not used to it on these fixed sets, started to overheat itself, and it started to get loose center off the corner, but I was able to cool it back down and drive away there at the end. I was definitely nervous because I thought that's what Justin was doing, was cooling it down to come after me, and I'm assuming he overheated it trying to get up to me, and then I cooled mine off and drove away. But it was definitely a good run. Good run to Justin and Rex and everybody in the league, man. It's a hell of a league, a lot of fun.
Yeah, great racing all the way through the field. How important was it here tonight? Virtue last week not going the way you wanted it, but tonight capitalizing on that invert. How important was it to keep that number 1 position and stay on the inside of the racetrack here at Stafford?
Definitely a number 1 thing when you come here. You don't want to start on the outside or you're just getting freight trained. But I mean, later in the run, you kind of have a shot to get back down in front, debating if you time to restart right, because builds grip up top with dynamic track. But definitely prefer to be on the inside for sure.
Well, you come home tonight with the win. Next week, we're headed to the Magic Mile. We stay up in the northeast section of the United States here as we head to the Magic Mile. How is the outlook? You're going to have to come from the 12th spot there, but we're going to see a lot of drafting, a lot of side-by-side racing next week. How concerned are you with having to start in that 12th position next week?
I'm not too nervous. I think it's going to be Daytona for these, for the most part. I mean, if you pick the dominant lane and can follow the train, as I like to say, through there, most of the time you can find yourself up front there.
Well, congratulations on the win, your second one of the season here tonight. And before we let you go, who makes it all possible for this one car to end up here in Victory Lane?
First and foremost, Rev eSports, Don, Tim, and the whole team over there. McConey Setup Shop, BK Paints, Platinum RV Services, the league for sure. Josh and them do a great job with the league. Turn 3 Racing Network, and other than that, not too many.
Well, congratulations on the win. That's tonight's feature event winner, the number 1 of Dalton Williamson. He'll go to Victory Lane for the second time this season. Now moving in down the line here, we'll move to the number 20 of Justin McDuff. And Justin, you came up through the field. You look a little worn out there. And you gave Williamson a run for his money there in that last restart with about 20 laps to go.
Yeah, thanks. I really like this track, honestly. I don't ever usually seem to get the results, but tonight it worked out. I kind of was really aggressive early there in the race. I think I started 6th. I was able to get down quickly, and I picked off a few of them, kind of rode 3rd for a while, just trying to save my stuff. And I don't know, I mean, I feel like it was kind of a track position race at that point. I mean, anytime a guy of Dalton's caliber starts on the pole, it's pretty much everyone else is racing for second. So I stayed with him there that last run, and I started to see that in 1 and 2 I was able to make up a little bit of time. And then I think he kind of realized where my strength was. I noticed he started really being able to wrap the bottom in 1 and 2, and from there on out we pretty much were even. So I can't really be upset. It was a great points night. At a tough track, especially starting on the outside, and anytime you finish second at Dalton, it's not really a bad night.
Talking about the points, we had your top 2 in the point standings have trouble here tonight. Were you aware of that?
I was, because one of them was my teammate, so I feel bad for him. He's had a really good season up to this point, but we do have the 1 drop, so I don't think he's really had a bad race up until this point, so I'm sure he'll still be okay. But I think it brings guys like myself and a few of the others that have had a mediocre race back into the conversation. So it's going to make the points battle very interesting going forward.
Well, before we let you roll on out here at Stafford, we want to know who makes it all possible for this 20 to end up here in the podium. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, so I got to thank my sponsors on the car. The Cerebral Palsy Foundation, I run that on all my cars. It's a cause I hold very near and dear to my heart. I got to thank my teammates, the Empire Racing Team, AJ and Brian. Brian had a good run. I know AJ didn't really have a good night, but we'll be back next week. Thanks, Al, for coming in tonight and pinch hitting. And I just want to give a shout out to Roger, if you're still watching out there. Hope you get well soon. And thanks to Josh for all he does for the league.
There you have it, the driver out of Hudson Falls, New York, coming home in the number 2 position here tonight. It is the 20 of Justin McDuff, and that leaves our last and final interview to the wily old veteran, the number 54 of Rex Hoyle. And Rex, it's been a while since I've been able to catch up with you, but congratulations on a 3rd place finish. How'd you get it done here tonight?
Thank you, sir, man. This hot rod was hooked up tonight. We started 8th position and had to work traffic a little bit. You know, fresh tires, everybody's pretty quick. Towards the end, we were able to get moved up in the field and tried to challenge there a little bit. Finally got past Higgins, and it's a little bit late to track down the leaders, but we had the car and the tires just ran out of time.
How tricky was it coming up through the field there? We saw that the outside line would work a little bit. We saw you out there, throughout the evening, and then also down low. How tricky was it, around the other cars running that outside? Looked like it was very tricky. The cars maybe washing up off of the corners, and we saw a lot of guys getting loose in that outside line. How tricky was it for you up there?
Yeah, it did get kind of tricky up there in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 wasn't so bad, but 1 and 2 definitely you have to watch what you're doing. The cars washing up a little bit, but I didn't have any problem running up there. The car handled great, and the guys I was around, great drivers. It's a great league. It wasn't too bad, actually.
Well, you come home in that number 3 spot, and next week we head to New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Mechanic Advisor 60. How's the outlook? Going to have to start there, I believe, in the 9th position next week. So you're still starting up inside the top 12, but that track very, very big. Going to be like the super speedway style racing with these SK Modifieds.
Yeah, it sure will. We're looking forward to it. We're going to hopefully bring us a good piece and see what we can do with these guys up there.
Well, before we let you go, Rex, who makes it all possible for this 505 Motorsports entry?
Well, we always got to thank American Tire Distributors. They've been with me for several years now and taking really good care of me, and that's one of the main reasons I'm still here. They stand behind me all the way. We've got Geppetto's Pizza, Tuxedos by Ted, and Culpepper's Bakery and Cafe. Without those guys, man, we'd go hungry up here. But they got some great food, great people. Anytime you're up this way, stop by Culpepper's.
There you hear it from your 3rd place finisher here tonight, Rex. We'll see you next week at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Congratulations on your 3rd tonight.
Thank you, Al. Good talking to you.
There you hear it. That is the driver, the 54 of Rex Hoyle, as we go high above the racetrack now as we come back live here to a live picture to look at your unofficial results here tonight after the Rev eSports 100 has come to a close here for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Series, and it was Dalton Williamson picking up the win over the 20 of Justin McDuff. We just heard from Rex Hoyle, who rounded out your podium. 1 spot shy of a podium here tonight was the driver out of Huntley, Illinois. That is Brian Hacker in car number 11. Rob Higgins with a season best 5th place finish here tonight for the driver of that number 40. He will finish 5th. Justin Smith will finish 6th. Brian Robinson will come home 7th. Josh Buckley had a nice run here tonight with an 8th place finish with Tony Strano and Mike Tashro rebounding for a top 10. Johnny Bell will finish 11th with Joe Strano. Rob Haynes will come home 13th. Rob Higgins will finish in the 14th spot. Dan Butler, who was up front early on with a little bit of trouble, he'll come home in the 15th spot. AJ Hamill having some trouble at the midsection of this race. He'll come home 16th with Aiden coming home in the 11th spot. Eric Stout, he'll finish 18th here tonight in the Rev eSports 100. And the remaining cars that were out of the night's race, Kenneth Younts and car number 85 will come home 19th. 20th will go to Brian Bianchi, Sean Single, Dan Tobin, Tim Williams, and Max Stereo will round out your 24th position here for the Rev eSports 100. Next week, the series will roll on to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. There will have 60 laps of ground-pounding action of the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's been a pleasure to bring you tonight's call here from the Stafford Motor Speedway. We miss Roger up in the booth here, but until he gets back, we will be here for you to bring you all the action of all your favorite leagues on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We thank you for tuning on in, and we will see you next week at New Hampshire. Until then, we'll see. Keep it on the racetrack, everybody, and stay safe.